We do this once a year. Our one final mock show, right? We haven't done multiple mocks, I don't think, in the history of this Paul Farrington show. So the week of the NFL draft, always a lot of fun. We got our draft Bible with us, right? Every single year. We had to bring the draft Bible that we could go through. We're gonna have a lot of fun today. An entire first round mock draft, rotating picks between me, Jack, and Ziggy. Producer Zach, maybe a couple splash picks for producer Zach. Dolphins, 2 first round picks in there. Thanks everyone for tuning in. And some pretty exciting news for the channel as well. For the first time ever, we are also live on Twitch right now. And more exciting news, on Thursday, we'll be having our first ever Twitch exclusive live stream for the first round of the NFL draft. We're trying to figure out new things about the
Bear with
platform.
us a little bit. Bear with us a little bit.
We'll have some hiccups during this episode, but Ziggy's supposed to be monitoring the Twitch stuff.
I'm working on it.
I just think of Ziggy and I think Hinge.
Well, we did the Ziggy Hinge segment years ago.
Yeah, we'll see how that.
Do you still have it, Ziggy, or no?
No.
The Ziggy Hinge account. Are we currently live on Twitch and YouTube? I think it works.
Currently live on Twitch.
It seems like YouTube's working, right?
Yeah, the Twitch is working. We've got a pinned in the chat as our Twitch link if you want to head over and check us out there.
Wow, look at this. Yeah, no, we will not be at the draft because we got a pretty cool opportunity with Twitch where it looks like we'll hopefully be able to be on the homepage is the hope during the first round of the NFL draft. And we're just going to explore this opportunity a little bit. Don't worry, everything will continue to live on YouTube as well. We're not going to be moving really any content other than this first round of the draft reaction, the live stream to Twitch. But we really hope that you guys go over to that on Thursday and check it out because we'll be live for 4 hours?
I actually might
check it out now. Click that follow button. Watch us on Twitch. We've already got Didge Rucha coming in, my favorite Packers podcast. People have always asked us, how can you support the Paul Farrington show more? And if you're an Amazon Prime member on Twitch, you can become a member for free just by clicking the subscribe button and then using your Amazon Prime subscription, which is totally free if you have Amazon Prime. You can just give us Jeff Bezos' money directly.
It's funny. I have no idea how this works. Like I'm learning a lot about it.
I have no idea.
Zach and Ziggy are big Twitch users.
Yeah. No, it's like, look, Jeff Bezos has enough money. We should get some of it. You can redirect some of the money you're giving to Jeff straight into Paul's bank account so he can buy Packers gear for him.
Who's Jeff Bezos?
Yeah.
I actually might be at the draft announcing the Steelers' first pick.
That would be pretty awesome.
They left it open to
I might be at the draft announcing a pick for an NFC North team.
Well, you heard there was Jack has sources.
I have sources.
He said Aaron Rodgers. Do you mind if I share?
Go ahead. Can I share?
Sure. It's your source.
I have sources. Nothing confirmed. It's nothing confirmed, so don't take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But I heard that Aaron Rodgers will be coming on stage during the draft to announce the Steelers' first pick. And announced that he'll be returning to Pittsburgh for the 2026 season. That's what I've heard. I'm hoping it's true. That's what I've heard. Take it lightly.
I'll stand by it.
I'm out here. I'm not confirming anything.
I'll stand by. I still think the best thing for you guys would be if Rodgers doesn't come back. I know it's an unpopular opinion.
That's the dumbest thing.
People say it's the dumbest thing they ever heard. But
that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
If you were to play out 2 alternate timelines, Rodgers returns, Rodgers doesn't. I think your path to more success comes without Aaron Rodgers.
You mean like AFC favorite or bust? Like, what are you talking about?
I think if you're really bad this year and you find a way to vault up towards the top of next year's quarterback-heavy class, it'll bode well for the Steelers' future, more so than being 9-8 or 10-7 and getting blasted in the first round.
We win a Super Bowl if Rodgers comes back.
Well, here we go. And the age-old question with the Steelers, like, how far can they go with Aaron Rodgers? All right, so go ahead, Ziggy.
Please. How far can they go with their first round pick? If you want to find out, you'll be able to see what we're predicting they're going to do in just a few minutes.
what was the value add of that line?
You know what, Paul? Not everything. I'm not a business guy. Not everything has to be a value add.
Ziggy likes to speed things along sometimes.
Yeah, as I was going to say, we'll dive in to our NFL draft, our mock draft here. Again, we're rotating picks. It's going to start with Jack, then me, then Ziggy. We're going to go about 2 picks at a time, right? Or we'll go 6 picks at a time, and then we'll sort of reflect on what we just said and move through in that regard. We're not going to go 10 minutes per pick. Thank God the NFL moved the total time from 10 minutes to 8 per selection, so that'll save us about an hour on draft night. while we're just waiting around for teams to make their pick.
Oh, remember last year, come like pick 22. It's like, all right, let's
At pick
speed
22,
this.
you're like, all right,
let's go.
Let's go,
NFL
boys.
tells teams they have to take up the whole time so they can run ads.
Yeah.
We're sitting there on Radio Row.
Like
it's
our show.
Pick 25. I was like, oh, God, I just want to go drink already.
Yeah, where were we? We were at
Radio Row. Or the
what was the bar?
Yeah, that right.
The bar in Green Bay. Oh, we had the Stadium View.
Stadium View.
Yeah, great bar out there. All right, so I see a lot of fire Pauls in the chat right now. You know, we did the best we could. Zach, you did a great job, by the way, producing tonight.
I also see a Jack sweetie from a
and
girl.
I did the best we could.
Yeah, you tried. I tried to derail the show. So, all right, let's start it off here. The first pick, the Raiders. We'll go to Jack, who you never know. I mean, Jack's kind of a lunatic. So
Can I make a prediction? Can I make a prediction for the Raiders are going to take here?
Please.
They've got Thunder and Ashton Genty. They need Lightning and Jeremiah Love. The Raiders take Jeremiah Love, number 1 overall.
Well, Ziggy, you and I, great minds think alike. This
Can you imagine?
This should come as no surprise. It's the best quarterback in the draft, a player who can be the future, the franchise of a team. It's Kyron Drones. Led the Vatek Hokies for years.
No, people don't know how often we hear about him. We get every single Saturday during college football, guys. There's
drone
a text message that comes in and says there's going to be a drone show today. And a couple times, didn't it happen? Like, remember when there was the whole drone thing with drones flying over the U.S.?
Yes.
Jack would send messages in like, "Oh my God, it's a huge drone show outside," and we'd be like, "What?" He'd be like, no, just Vatek. It's like, shut up, man.
So number one in seriousness now is Mendoza.
Fernando Mendoza.
That comes as a Fernando Mendoza, the Hoosier quarterback, national champion. Comes as a surprise to nobody. Just somebody who the Raiders can hope to be their future and their quarterback for a long time. Franchise changer.
You love him, though, I thought.
I love
during
Mendoza.
the year. Yeah.
Yes.
Like we've talked a lot about young quarterbacks who are drafted early, right? And Mendoza doesn't have the hype that some of these guys like the Trevor Lawrences have gotten in the past, the Joe Burrows in the past. But there's a lot of reason to be excited.
I mean, he's smart. Like, makes good decisions under pressure. Like, he's accurate.
Mm-hmm.
I was somebody who bet against Mendoza all year. I mean, I took Alabama over him, and I took Oregon.
There was
over
one
him,
team that could beat Indiana in the college football playoff this year, and they were on the couch.
Well, it sucks.
There was one team.
But like, I bet against Mendoza all year, and he just proved me wrong and wrong and wrong. This guy's going to be awesome. He's got heads on his shoulders.
A pick, by the way.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, Mendoza, number one.
Producer Zach, do we just have a piece of our camera hanging over Ziggy's head right now? You try to do the best you can with these guys.
No.
You try to do the best.
I'll tell you what. As much as that might be screwing things up, we got to give a shout out to Dobie the Dobinator and It's Aki 22 for using those Twitch primes. Thanks for sending the Bezos bucks our way. Become members of the PFS Army. We appreciate it.
That's pretty sweet. I'm still learning what all these terms are, but that is awesome.
Yeah, I have no clue.
So the draft really starts with the second pick here. We all know Mendoza is going to go number 1, unless the Raiders do love their fast players. I can see a world where Kenyon Sadiq's 40-yard dash, what was it, 4.38, 4.39? That could catch their attention. But I think it's a little, even for the Raiders, a little too far out of reach. So I think we all agree with the Mendoza pick. The question now with the Jets at 2, Arvell Reese or David Bailey. You saw they canceled the visitation with Bailey. Who knows what that really means? Is it they've seen enough? They know they're going to take him. They know they're going to go Reese. They don't want to waste a meeting with Bailey. We're not sure. And no one really knows what the Jets are ever doing. I think when it comes down to it here, when they're on the clock, they're going to go with Arvell Reese, the stud out of Ohio State. Potential, right? That's the word you hear about Arvell Reese. He's someone who's going to come in and a little bit better against the run, a little more useful against the run than David Bailey would be for a Jets defense that was 29th in rushing yards per game against last year. They need studs on defense, and I love this pick for them at number 2. Ziggy, you're on the clock.
Well, I'm going to try and follow the rules here. The Cardinals have needs all over the board. They should be looking for a player who can produce at a high level, sort of at a position that's really valuable. You said it was between Reese and Bailey at 2. Well, if Reese is gone, Bailey going to be the pick at number 3.
Yeah, I mean that's what we figure is 2-3, right? With like whoever the Jets take, the Cardinals take the other.
Yeah,
the draft really starts at 4.
I guess if we're gonna follow the rules where we go through the picks and then we reflect on it, yes, we'll move on. We'll move on now to Jack at number 4, the Tennessee Titans.
So I'm going to make a pick here that I think Tennessee is going to make, which, I typically wouldn't myself. Like a lot of our fans know I'm not a massive running back guy.
Oh, baby.
But I
love this guy.
Here?
Love this guy.
I think Tennessee goes with Jeremiah Love at number 4. And I just look at the Tennessee Titans, like, the brand, the culture of the Titans. It revolves around a running back, Chris Johnson, Derrick Henry. Like, they want to have that back who can be their guy in that offense. Like, just elite, game changer, McCaffrey, Barkley type guy. And Jeremiah Love has shown that potential.
Oh, you don't have to convince this group.
I know.
See what I'm holding here? These are the Sharpie pens that Jeremiah Love handed out to us at the Super Bowl with his signature on.
I think Tennessee, with a young quarterback in Cam Ward, makes a pick here and takes Jeremiah Love at 4.
You think they make a disaster pick and take Jeremiah Love?
I'm not saying I would personally get running back, but I think Tennessee is going to go with running back. If it pans out, if Love can be what he can be, he'll defy my argument. But
it's tough for me to hand a player who's never played a snap in the NFL the most guaranteed money at their position day one.
You guys are haters, man. When you have someone like Jeremiah Love who could do it all, catching, running,
when you have somebody who can do it all like Ashton Genty, when you got someone who can do it all like Leonard Fournette, you can do whatever you want.
I mean, you can give those examples. I can come out and I could say Bijan, I could say Jahmyr Gibbs, I could say McCaffrey.
Yeah, how many winning seasons did the Falcons had with Bijan? How many winning seasons did the Panthers have with Christian?
No, look, Ziggy, I'm personally,
how many
I'm
winning
with
seasons
you.
did the Giants have with Saquon?
49ers get McCaffrey. They go to the Super Bowl. Lions have Jahmyr Gibbs. They're in the NFC Championship game. We can play this game. We can do this.
It's the Lions O-line. But Ziggy, I'm with you. I really am. But if I was a GM for Tennessee, I'm not making that pick. But I think Tennessee makes that pick.
So
fair enough.
Number 5 here, the Giants now, who have 2 picks in the top 10. Right, that we got
after trading Sexy Dexy over to the Bengals.
Yeah, after the Dexter Lawrence trade,
he got even sexier now.
A few guys. So it seems like this is really going to wind up being Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs. You could be looking at Carnell Tate as well. And I'd be surprised if it wasn't one of them here. I'm going to go with Sonny Styles. And, Sonny Styles converted from safety to linebacker, right? We saw his brother, Ziggy, at Notre Dame, Lorenzo Styles, a wide receiver, went to Ohio State, turned cornerback. Obviously, we know he's a great athlete. You hear a lot with these Ohio State defenders, the leadership, right? The quality. He's a captain of the OSU defense, which is clearly, they had talent all over the field. You're going to see a lot more Ohio State in this first round. I love guys who are leaders, but are you a good football player? When you step on the field, are you a monster? And Sonny Styles was unbelievable. 82 tackles, led the team, 13 more than Arvell Reese. He took his missed tackle total from 17 in 2024 down to 3 last year. He's just a monster. He's all over the field. He's someone that's going to step in and be, quite literally, the captain of this John Harbaugh defense. And I think that'd be a great start for the Giants, who are up again in 5 picks.
Yeah, this defense is going to be bright and sunny once they draft Sonny Styles.
Sunny days ahead.
Sunny days ahead in MetLife. You don't hear that often. Sunny days ahead in New Jersey.
Yeah, not bad. So all right, one more pick here, and then I guess as Ziggy said, we've kind of been doing the reflecting on each pick. But Ziggy, the Factory of Sadness, the Browns at number 6.
I'm a little confused that this mock draft computer says quarterback's the number 1 need for Cleveland. They have 2 Pro Bowl quarterbacks on their roster.
Okay.
I don't think they're not taking Ty Simpson here. Some people have talked about this. They've got 2 picks in the first round. They're going to go tackle and wide receiver, basically guaranteed. But the way this board has fallen, Carnell Tate is still on the board. I think he's not my wide receiver 1, but he's a lot of people's wide receiver 1s. I like the receivers in this class more than the tackles. The Browns are very happy to settle in Carnell Tate here. And whether it's Shadur or Dylan Gabriel or Deshaun Watson or Ty Simpson or literally anyone, they don't mind taking a talented player here at a position of need.
Keep him in Ohio too.
I would be if I were a Browns fan and they took Ty Simpson at 6. I haven't heard too much of those murmurings. I know there are some Jets fans we have some Jets friends who were talking about Simpson at 2, and it's like, let's just slow down here. And maybe I'm just biased because I'm still mad about the playoff fiasco with Notre Dame and Alabama. But whenever I watch Ty Simpson play, he had some moments, but I just think, I know he was injured, right? The Georgia game, but that SEC championship game and against Indiana, I mean, you just got destroyed. And
does this not feel to you just like the Malik Willis hype, where people are starting to talk about him as a top 5 pick, and then just nothing happened?
I just don't see. I think for me, it's tough to defend him being a top 5 pick.
Oh, well, top 5 would be. I mean, first round, you could like later in the first round. I think even you have to defend
25, 26, even. But I mean, anything before that, I just haven't seen it from him.
But you don't need to just take a quarterback to take a quarterback. I guess that's against Ziggy's dartboard theory, right? Where you throw darts at the board until something lands. But when there's a guy, it's the Kenny Pickett draft. Did anyone really think Kenny Pickett was going to blossom into this? Well,
I did.
But you're a Pitt fan, though. Did anyone really think Kenny Pickett was going to blossom into this long-term starter in Pittsburgh? You had more doubts than assurances there. And I just think that especially in the top 10, if anyone's telling you Ty Simpson, you have a chance to add some real game changers here. It would be kind of crazy. Ziggy, Carnell Tate over Tyson?
It's not who I would take. I think that's what they're going to do. Jordyn Tyson will be the wide receiver 1 from this class. Jordyn Tyson is the only guy I think who has any superstar upside. And that's why you're starting to hear a lot of chatter about him. But it's the Browns. Do you think the Browns are going to take the best player at the position they're drafting in the first round?
Yeah, and too, it's like the Browns will look at the college uniform like, oh, Ohio State or Arizona State, who are we taking? They'll take
that's how they make their decision.
That's what they'll do.
I mean, honestly, if the Browns did that, they'd be better off than what they are now.
Well, there are a couple teams.
But you have to get a receiver if you're Cleveland, though. Like, I mean, you have two, you Shador and Dylan Gabriel.
Right now, you got Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, and Isaiah Bond.
Right. Okay, then you have Shador and Dylan Gabriel. Probably Shador, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, get him somebody.
I think Deshaun Watson's going to start.
You then get him somebody.
Well, then get him somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. And like they need a receiver, they need a tackle. They're going to take those 2 positions in the first round, I guess.
There are a handful of teams this year in the draft where you look at their receiver room and you kind of go, whoa, that's tough. I mean, like, Zach, you lead the way in Miami, but New Orleans, right?
Finns pick coming up soon.
New Orleans is brutal.
You how bad Miami is as a team, that their receiver room is that wide receiver is listed as the 5th team need.
Yeah, Miami. When producer Zach is up with the Dolphins, you could literally do anything. We'll say nice pick. Yeah, you can improve there. It's tough days as a Dolphin fan. One note on our top 6 here, Ziggy. I do think the Cardinals at 3, where you had them taking David Bailey, I do think they're going to be looking to trade down and hope that they can get a lineman, maybe with better value, a couple picks, and acquire some more bullets in the chamber.
I have one quick thing too before we head on to the next tier here, the next stanza, so to say.
Yeah. However many words you can come up.
So, Paul, you took Sonny Sonny with the Giants at 5.
Yeah.
Right.
Solely for the brighter days ahead pun.
And I can't blame you. I think I would look to go, if you're them, I would look to go get another receiver alongside Neighbors. Like, what if they went Carnell Tate?
Yeah, I think that, again, with having the 10th pick coming up, if one of the guys were to fall, Tate or Tyson,
like you're hoping,
I think Lemon might be maybe a little early for Lemon. I just think Sonny Styles is a guy I wouldn't pass up on. I'm not blown away by Carnell Tate the way some of these receivers, like when Jamar Chase was there, we looked at Jamar Chase and went like, all right, he's a can't miss guy. Sonny Styles, the upside.
Draft a beast and hope one of those 2 receivers can fall to 10.
Yeah, and look, you got Malik Neighbors there already. At least it's not like Miami or Cleveland, which is a little more desperate at the position.
Yeah, you need more.
Though. Well, there's a lot of things. The Giants can also work on their line. They can work on their secondary. Like they've been bad for a while, but I think going and getting Styles, who's one of the elite guys in the draft, that's why I made that decision. So that takes us then to number 7, Jack, the Washington Commanders.
So I also have my number 1 receiver off the board here at 7 to Washington. I'm pretty sure Ziggy's number 1 too. This is where Jordyn Tyson goes.
I haven't seen too much of that.
Hines Ward was his receivers coach. He's polished. He can stretch the field. He's big. He's athletic. I think this is someone for a team who was down last year, expectations were high and they plummeted. Jaden Daniels still young, 3rd year. You bring him now, Jordyn Tyson. that's a huge get for the Commanders' offense.
Look at producer Zach too, running the mock here with drafting people, doing a great job so far. You getting a little nervous, Zach, for the Dolphins pick coming up?
No, why?
Oh, just curious. I was just curious.
I never get nervous.
The
on the game, I look calm and ready.
With Jordyn Tyson,
to drop bombs.
What I think you see with a lot of analysts is they say, damn, this guy wasn't hurt. Clear number one receiver to me. I can't tell you how many times I've heard someone say that when they're comparing him and Tate or him versus Lemon. Oh, if Jordyn Tyson wasn't suffering from all these injuries, he'd be the clear number one to me. Now the injuries.
I'll tell you how you know that he's going at people's draft boards is now everyone's talking about the injuries. When injury news emerges like a week before the draft, it's because teams that are in those teams, right? Teams like Kansas City, like New York, like Miami, are trying to put that news out there to scare the teams ahead of them.
I think that
no one's worried about this guy's knee.
I mean, I think he's more explosive and has a higher NFL ceiling than Carnell Tate does. But the recognition is not as high because one's Ohio State, one's Arizona State.
Well, and the other thing too is he did blow out his knee, and then he did have the hamstring injury this year, or he's dealing with it right up until I think he's just getting better now. It's like those are relevant. Now you gotta hope, and I mean, for his sake, that during next season he's okay. But some guys are injury prone, and that is something that when you're talking about top 10 pick, you weigh it at least a little bit in the back of your mind. I mean, going 7 here is
with the receiver,
high capital.
With the receiver this good, though, if he ends up having a good NFL career, you're kicking yourself for not taking him where you could have.
There's a handful of guys, and we'll get to some of them later on, I have to imagine, where they had really good 2024s and either completely injury plagued 2025s or just down 2025s with some nagging injuries. And that makes it kind of an interesting decision with those dudes. Like, all right, where are we going to have Jermod McCoy going? Someone that was a shutdown cornerback when he was healthy, misses a whole year.
Tore his ACL.
Yeah, tore his ACL. Peter Woods, right, was down last year for Clemson after looking like he could be a top 10 pick at one point. So we'll see. We'll see as we go on there. The Saints. God, I hate the Saints. Maybe I'll just mock. Should I just mock Pavia to them? Just
Go ahead.
Yeah. Go for it.
In my ideal world, they botched this pick. For anyone who doesn't know, any new time viewers, because of the 2009 NFC Championship game, as a Viking fan, I wished eternal misery on this organization, and it's come pretty close to being as good as it could get following that. I mean, we had the miracle on them. They had the Rams play in the NFC Championship game. They've sucked the past couple of years. I hope it's misery forever.
Who's your pick?
For New Orleans. With that said, I don't think they'll botch this pick. Couple guys I'm focusing in on. One would be Caleb Downs. The pick I'm going to take, though, not too far down the road at LSU, I'm going to go Mansour Delane, the cornerback who was the best cornerback in the country this year. Again, with Jermod McCoy out. I might even go so far to say I'd prefer my team to draft Jermod McCoy, but those injury concerns are real. And Delane was just great this year. And the Saints, while cornerback might not be the biggest need, right? They have to address the defensive line. And they really need receiver help with Tyson and Carnell Tate off the board. And Jeremiah Love too, right? Even if they want to go there. I think Mansour Delane shore up the secondary, and you're feeling pretty good for a while on the back end in New Orleans.
I mean, he was shut down. 14 catches allowed this year, no touchdowns.
Yep.
Best corner in the country, physical SEC experience. And it's funny, this is now the second player we have staying home here with Carnell Tate.
This is the first pick. I believe this would be the first LSU player drafted in the first round by the Saints ever.
We have Carnell to the Browns
cool.
And Delane to the Saints. That would be a.
And we got Arvell and Sonny both going to New York together.
Right, yeah, look at that.
I mean, this is a pretty friendly. Like, we have a friendly mock draft for these players right now.
I mean, I think I would go with Delane over Caleb Downs as well. Close, but I would probably agree with you.
Okay, and by the way, for the chat, if you have any big time mentions here, big time picks you like, throw it in there. Like, we'd love to see in the chat. Go ahead, Ziggy.
Hey, call us out for
100%. 100%. Like, please let us know what you think the good picks are here and who you would take pick by pick. Spam it if you want. I don't care. Like, have some fun in the chat.
Don't spam it too much.
As we're chilling out on a Monday night. and Jack's drinking his Coke out of the glass bottle.
It's
here.
actually a rum and Coke.
Rum and Coke.
No,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just a
yeah.
Coke, okay.
No, you can.
It's a Monday night. It's a
You
Monday
can.
night.
I checked on if Twitch you could drink alcohol, and apparently as long as, well, actually there might be some things.
It's just a Coke. It's Coke. I mean,
And
it's,
people drink too much alcohol on Twitch. But
It's a
we'll move
Monday.
on to Kansas City.
Yeah, we're just having some Coke here. Just some Coke. Coca-Cola, I should say. Coca-Cola. Go ahead, Ziggy. Number 9.
Did you think that was funny?
What?
Did you think that was a good joke?
Which one?
Okay. It's tough out here on these streets for the Paul Farrington.
Zeke, what are you
show.
talking
Number
about, bro?
9. Look, Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes is hurt. He's gotten hurt a little bit over the past few years. They have a real need at tackle. Things have not worked out well for them there. They need a big guy up front to help keep Patrick Mahomes safe. Francis Mauigoa, I think, is an easy pick here for them. This guy is absolutely enormous. He's like 6'8". I remember seeing him when my Notre Dame played Miami, and like this guy is just absolutely enormous.
we saw him too.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that game. Why even bring that up, man?
I know the herniated disc is something teams are a little bit worried about and is getting some attention, but this guy played incredibly well through the injury. I think he's going to be able to take care of business for Kansas City up front. And the Chiefs are happy to get the first tackle off the board, something they have not had an opportunity to do for a long time.
This is the best O-line I've ever seen in my entire life.
In Miami, in the Hurricanes?
This Hurricanes offensive line is the biggest, most ginormous line I've ever seen.
Big.
Like,
What about the Notre Dame?
No, Miami's bigger.
What about the Quentin Nelson,
Miami's
Mike
bigger.
McGlinchey?
I was at that Texas A&M Miami playoff game, and I was at a bar the night before, and I ran into this Miami fan, and he told me, like, I didn't know who Mauigoa was at the time, to be honest. And this guy goes up to me. He goes, Francis. I was in my A&M jersey. He goes, Francis is gonna pancake your ass, boy.
Oh,
I'm like, who's Francis? I saw who Francis.
Francis?
I saw who Francis was the next day.
Isn't that
So-
Deadpool? Where's Francis? Right.
So yeah, I mean he's ginormous.
It seems like I thought I saw that Andy Reid is also pretty like honing in on trying to get some protection for Mahomes, who is coming off an ACL injury. You got to keep that guy healthy. Another big leg injury for Mahomes, and you just don't know how guys react to these. Ziggy, I'd be a little surprised if they didn't go Bane there, if he was on the board, but it would be between those two guys, and I think Chiefs fans would expect it to be between those two guys if it came down to it.
I really do not think Jalen Moore is very good for Kansas City.
So
they need to replace him.
So this would then bring us over to number 10, Jack. The Giants' second pick here. Where are we going?
So if Carnell or Tyson here were available for the Giants, that's who they would take. They would take a wide receiver. But I think they reunite a couple Ohio State teammates as well, just like the Jets.
Oh, all right.
I think they improved their secondary, and I think the Giants here take Caleb Downs. I think he's somebody who
They'd love that.
Yeah, like I think he's somebody who can impact like every level of the defense. I think he's a leader. I think he brings that immediate energy into the locker room. I think he's ready for a good pro career. That's a great pick there for the Giants at 10. That's if both those receivers are not there. I think they go with Caleb Downs.
And I think if Mauigoa was there, they could look in that direction too.
Yeah.
For O-line help. But if it gets to 10 and Caleb Downs is still on the board, every Giants fan is going to be.
I mean, Styles and Downs.
Giants fans are going to be going crazy.
Yeah.
And those are the two guys, right, of anyone in the draft that you say like the character and culture setting, right? If John Harbaugh wants to establish a culture on that defense, again, not just good culture setters, but really good. I mean, Caleb Downs might be the best football player in the draft.
Yeah.
We've
Also,
heard this for 2
like,
years.
Like a unit when I talk about the Giants secondary that needs more consistency, just needs something. Caleb Downs provides that.
Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles. You're walking away pretty pumped up if you're a New York Giant fan. Which brings us to the 11th pick, and this is where the show can get off the rails here. We don't know what comes out of this guy's mouth. Producer Zach, the first of 2 selections.
Let's go.
For the Malik Willis-led Miami Dolphins.
Yes, sir. All right. Now, if we look over here, you could see that Miami has some needs, right? Cornerback, edge,
Everything.
safety, quarterback, wide receiver, tackle.
Wait, Zach, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
The Dolphins, I just want to read because we did point out that receiver was the 5th need, right? Or is it 5 on this list here?
Yes.
The current receiving room in Miami: Malik Washington, Jalen Tolbert, and Tutu Atwell.
That's what we like to hear.
So if receiver is your 5th biggest need, when you're, and no offense, again, we're not football players. I can't go out on a field. Malik Washington, Jalen Tolbert, Tutu Atwell are all professionals.
Yeah, this Miami team would go 25-0 in college.
But if that were the 5th biggest need for the
Ziggy. Thanks, Ziggy. Good.
If that were
that's what's going for them, because like you look at their cornerback room, it's like Juju Brents might be the best. Because Storm Duck is one of the 3 best corners.
Well, that's a great name. I mean, Storm Duck. The more you say Storm Duck on a broadcast, I think the cooler it is. But all right. So anyway, the Dolphins have a lot of needs. Go ahead, Zach.
So we do have a lot of needs. You go, oh, let's get a corner. It's not going to make much of an impact. But you know what the Dolphins have that's very important right now? They have a running back by Devon Achane. And he needs, for now. And he needs all the help he can get. So we're going to go with a great run blocker in Spencer Fondu.
Hey, you know, I like that, Zach. A big man, he's a Ute. I mean, is Cam Rising still a Ute? Is he trotting out for his 9th year? Or
I have no idea where Cam Rising is these days. I thought there was a chance at one point he'd be a Notre Dame quarterback somewhere down the line.
Have you seen these huge men that Utah has up front? I mean, these guys are mammoth.
A lot of people think Fano's the best offensive lineman in the class.
That's a massive man, and you have Malik Willis there now. You got it. That's the first order of business, I guess. Keep him upright,
which is going to be a difficult task.
I mean, I like that's the good start. I do like that pick.
I gotta be honest with you. I don't think it's about keeping him upright. I think it's about saving Achane's life.
I actually disagree with both of you guys. I think it's about keeping whoever you draft number 1 overall next year upright. And that's what you're doing with Fano right here. Okay.
See, I do have one thing to say about the Dolphins, then we'll move on, which is like usually when players join their team, they talk about like how much they're going to win and how good the team's going to be. Malik Willis's quote was, "I'm blessed to be here. I'm grateful for you guys. I'm ready to get this thing going." He knows what's coming next.
It does feel a little bit.
Might be a 0-17 year in Miami.
It feels a little bit like throwing him out to the wolves. I feel bad. Now listen, he's got a lot of money now. Malik Willis, he's set. But as far as the on the field product goes, he's the sacrificial lamb for this season, and we'll just see what happens. And I'll feel bad for Malik if he just gets destroyed, and then they go bring in some new kid, which I have to imagine will happen.
How much is Malik making this year on the Dolphins?
Was he like 33, 35, something like that?
Million?
Yeah, I think it was 33-ish.
Or 1,000.
Yeah.
Wouldn't look?
He's okay.
If I offered you 35 mil to just get your ass rocked for a season, would you do it?
Would I do it? Yeah. But I might have a life-ending. Actually, I was gonna say life-altering, maybe a life-ending injury. I'm 6'2", 165.
Yeah, that's the risk.
I get hit by, coming. I'm trying to think of an edge rusher right now.
Myles Garrett.
Yeah, I was trying to think of more of an AFC East edge rusher who strikes fear into me. Arvell Reese comes in.
They play Micah Parsons next year.
Bradley Chubb's over in
well, I'm 5'10",
Buffalo now.
I'm 5'10", 148. How do you think I do?
I think you die.
You think
you might die?
You think I'm a solid gunner?
No, if you had to play quarterback.
If you were a gunner, I don't think you'd make it off the line.
I think I'm fast.
No, he wouldn't make it off the line, but he wouldn't die. He wouldn't die as a gunner. You just get shoved into the sideline.
Quarterback, I'd be dead probably.
Could you imagine? The Dolphins play the Vikings this year. You have Grenard, Van Ginkel, and Dallas Turner. Oh,
well, you have 2 of those guys.
Yeah, we'll see if Grenard's there. So that brings it to 12 for the Cowboys, who I think are absolutely thrilled with the way this board is played out. Now, we all know that they are aiming for a linebacker. It seems like Sonny Styles is the guy they're truly targeting, and maybe they'll make a move up. They might do that. But if Ruben Bain falls to them at 12, I think the people in Dallas are going to be throwing a party, pairing him with Rashawn Gary next year. What? What's wrong?
On. Keep going.
Oh, okay. All right. Sounded like someone got nervous there. But Ruben Bain,
I may have to go.
a stud for. Are you good? What?
One sec. Keep going.
Okay. Yeah, Ruben Bain out of Miami. Someone who we could see potentially go as high as 9. It looks like. I would love for Dallas, or Dallas fans would love to get this pick here, and they got another one coming up in 8 selections. Again, just a reminder, on Thursday night, guys, we will be live on Twitch for the first ever Twitch exclusive Paul Farrington show stream. Will be 4 hours, 3.5 hours live. We've done it before. We did it last year at the draft in Green Bay. I don't think we did it the year before that. But it should be a pretty cool opportunity for us. So you could head over to what?
We did a game. We did the Vikings.
We did the Viking Packer game, right? So that'll be a lot of fun.
I mean, you can come over and watch us on Twitch right now, twitch.tv/The Paul Farrington Show. And if you're an Amazon Prime member like Farrington RB, thank you, Mr. Farrington, you can subscribe with Twitch Prime membership. Doesn't cost you a thing besides what you're already paying. Send some money directly to us, supports the channel.
So Ziggy, this throws us over to number 13, the Los Angeles Rams. Are you good, Jack?
Wait. Who did you pick for 12?
I took Ruben Bain.
Oh.
I think I gotta leave. But
all right.
Read here. Here's my picks.
Ziggy and I can just run.
Just run.
We'll take care of
it. All
it.
right, guys.
Okay.
Sorry, fellas.
Yeah, no. It's all good. It's all
See
good.
you guys for the draft.
We'll see you on Thursday for the draft. Okay.
All right. Finally, we can make normal picks.
Yeah, normal picks. Okay, so
all right, at number 13,
yes,
the Rams have got to be happy about this because the widely regarded wide receiver 3 in the draft has just fallen to them. Now, people will say you've got Devontae Adams, you've got Puka. Why do you need a receiver? Devontae is getting older, and I think he's more of a wide receiver 3 red zone threat at this point. You don't want him getting like 100 targets again. Makai Lemon, we're drafting guys to stay in the area. He gets to stay in LA. He gets to go into an offense that supports him really well. Mm-hmm. I think this is a great pick for the Rams.
Yeah, it seems like the Rams are destined at this point to take a receiver. I haven't seen one person, maybe one person, veer away from that position for them. And I like it. I wouldn't be upset if LA went in a different direction, just because they're all in on right now with Matthew Stafford, right?
Yeah. And they could definitely go offensive tackle to replace, like right tackle to replace McClendon.
100%. But receiver does address the future, right? Because Adams is likely to be gone next season,
and it addresses the present.
Yeah,
Matthew
and it addresses
Stafford's
the present.
Happy to have a guy to throw to. Puka has an injury history. He has whatever's going on now. Getting a guy who you can count on wouldn't hurt.
Okay, so that takes us over to Baltimore now at 14. And I'll stick with Jack's picks, because if I weren't going with Jack's picks, I'd be leaning towards Venga Ioane here, the Penn State mauler at guard. But we're going to stay true to what we had, to what Jack had here. He's going Omar Cooper, the wide receiver out of Indiana, who's flying up draft boards right now. And if there's one play you need to look at for Omar Cooper to sell this pick, it's that Penn State game-winning, the one that Venga Ioane was at, right? When Indiana had the last second touchdown back of the end zone, probably the play of the year, just one of the all-time toe taps you'll ever see. Go watch it right now if you haven't seen it before. Omar Cooper, someone, dependable route runner, good hands. Like he's just a stud receiver. And while I would address the interior O-line for Baltimore, if you want to get Lamar Jackson some more weapons, right? Add to Zay Flowers, add to Mark Andrews. I don't think anyone in Baltimore is going to be too upset about that.
Yeah, I mean, you say add to Zay Flowers, add to Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews is old and falling off. And besides Zay Flowers, it's Tez Walker and Rashad Bateman.
And it feels like they've been looking for, even if you include Zay, another option for quite some time now. So Omar Cooper, maybe a little rich for my blood, but it's not one that I'm gonna, throw a fit about for Jack here. That brings us to Tampa Bay at 15. And this team, just horrible at rushing the passer the past couple seasons. They need help there badly. But I think Tampa Bay looks at the board right now and they go, Jermod McCoy's still here? Are you kidding me? Jamel Dean's out in Pittsburgh with Jack Steelers. We can add this guy who, if he hadn't been hurt, would be the number one cornerback in the draft. would be a top 10 pick. Who knows? Top 8, top 7. Just a stellar season in 2024. Again, the knee injury is what's dropping him here. But if you go and you get Jermod McCoy, I think you're getting an absolute stud out of Tennessee for Tampa to continue to build that secondary with our guy, right? Notre Dame, Benjamin Morrison. There's a couple guys. They need some help in that secondary to begin with. So I love the McCoy pick if he's there.
You don't think he's young? 20's young.
Who?
McCoy.
Did I say he's not young?
No. I'm just saying in general. Like,
20 years old.
Yeah. Is like young for a cornerback.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have him hopefully for 10 years.
The read I'm getting from the news that's coming out, I think that the Jermod McCoy injury, if it's what people are saying, that he needs a bone plug to replace a cartilage defect and needs another surgery for that, that's worse than what Will Johnson needed last year. And Paul, you remember from our show what happened with Will Johnson. So if a team is happy with his medicals, I could definitely see that. The Steelers are a team that's usually very happy risking medicals, so I could see them being a target here. But if any of these teams is happy with what they're getting, he'll go there.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's very, very reasonable. Okay. 16, Ziggy. Back to the Jets.
The Jets have addressed their edge rusher linebacker need. There's a lot of places they could go. But the Jets have shown they're happy to take an interior offensive lineman earlier than a lot of teams would. They need something to protect whatever quarterback they're going to take in the future, whether it's Ty Simpson later in the draft or whether it's whoever they take in 2027. You mentioned Vega Ioane earlier. This is a great spot for him to go to New York, for him to solidify that offensive line a little bit and try and get the player they were hoping they'd get out of Elijah Vera Tucker.
You know, a lot of people think that Vega Ioane might be the best lineman in the draft to begin with, right? Spencer Fano, maybe the best tackle. That's debated with Francis Maioga. But a lot, like, this guy's just a mauler. And if you can, this is another situation, sort of like when I was saying, the Dolphins maybe drafting for the next guy, although that's a little unfair to Malik. The Jets are certainly drafting for the next guy. And I'm a big proponent. If you're a Jets fan, you're a Dolphins fan, if the Steelers don't have Rodgers come back, the goal for me would be lose as many. If I'm rooting for that team, lose everything, because it's a great, great quarterback class coming out. Maybe our guy CJ Carr at Notre Dame could be the first guy off the board. That's potential. And you need to keep that guy on his feet. So I love this pick, Ziggy. I think that you're seeing some real value here in the middle of the first round.
And moving on to 17 with the Detroit Lions. Why not keep this trend going? Detroit needs help at tackle. They've neglected the lines for a little bit too long. Ioane, I think, is a player who could profile really well to Detroit, but he just got sniped by the Jets. Monroe Freeling, to me, just seems like a Detroit Lions player. He's enormous. He's 6'7". He mauled in Georgia. He's an incredibly physical player. He's the exact sort of guy that Detroit is going to want to help get that offensive line fixed up. And Jared Goff said he thinks the offensive line will be okay next year. This gives you a chance to have an offensive line that's a little bit better than okay.
We did see, right, with the departure of Ziegler and Ragnow last year, for the first time in a while, and the Lions offense still performed at a high level. I would say sometimes. I wouldn't say most of the times. Towards the end of the year, they started to fall apart. But you could tell that something was different. And you come into this year now, they add Cade Mays, they get Larry Borum. We'll see how it goes. They still need to add some meat up there to get back to that identity of who they were. I like that pick. Zach, would you mind if Jack's mic volume is still up? Can you just turn this one down a little bit? Yeah, he's right here.
The other thing I like about Freeling and why I think he could work well in Detroit, he is such an agile player. In Detroit, if you're a tackle, one of the most important things for you to do is to be able to win and then get to that second level to block for Jahmyr Gibbs, being able to set up those outside runs and take on multiple guys in a play. I can just see, I don't like talking about this as a Vikings fan, but I can just see a vision where he's dominant.
One of the huge concern that I'd have in the NFC North next year is that the Lions get back to who the Lions were, which would just suck. It would be horrible to have Detroit, because we already know that the Packers should be good. We know the Bears are on this ascension here. if Detroit returns to the Detroit of old, what are we supposed to do? like what do we do as Vikings fans other than just, hope that Kyler Murray can take? I mean, that's really all we can do is hope Kyler Murray.
Detroit is playing their best. They can win 15 games.
Yeah, 15 might be a little generous, but
they've done that.
You can't say it's too generous. A little hyperbole there. 15.
They've done it before when they're playing their best.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. 18, the Vikings here, and there's a lot of directions we can go. Yeah, throw up that skull. What's up, Rick Harris? How's it going, man? I'm very worried when we're on the clock. I don't think we can really mess it up. Actually, no, we absolutely can mess it up. Last year, everyone knows I wanted Will Johnson. I was pretty disappointed when that wasn't the pick, unfairly, to Donovan Jackson, right, who had an okay rookie season. When I'm looking at the Vikings this year, I do not want them to take Kenyon Sadiq. I don't know why I've just gone anti-Kenyon Sadiq. I saw some rumors today that he's roaring up the draft board for the Vikings.
No, he's not.
I hope that's not the case. And maybe he turns into an awesome receiving tight end. That could happen. I'll be pretty upset when you tune into the live stream on Twitch on Thursday. You'll see an upset Paul Farrington. I don't really want a safety. I think Harrison Smith actually might come back right now. I know he hasn't made a decision yet, but I'm kind of thinking he's going to come back with the way it's trending.
Ty Simpson?
If we take Ty Simpson, we're ending the stream. I'm going to go with Caden McDonald, the defensive lineman out of Ohio State. Peter Woods is the other top defensive tackle, a little bit more of a pass rusher. We just need... I don't know how we feel about cursing on this. How we feel about cursing on
I'll
these
give you
streams.
one. I'll give you one.
We just need some fat motherfucker in the middle of the field, the middle of our defense, to plug the lanes, shut down the run, and that's what Caden McDonald can do. He's a big dude who we haven't had that kind of guy in Minnesota in a long time. We need someone to shut down the run. And it's okay if you sacrifice some pass rush snaps. You maybe have to take him off the field every once in a while, but he's a big dude. I want to keep building in the trenches, and D tackle's been a weak spot for a number of years now. Let's finally address it in the first round, and and get this show on the road.
Yeah, it's funny. Like we're seeing a real renaissance of nose tackles in the NFL, right? Like Vita Vea, Dexter Lawrence, even like Poona Ford in LA. These are guys who are becoming increasingly valuable, and there's not a lot of them to go around, right? Like we were talking about this when we were looking at the Packers this offseason. They really wanted one, and there was just no one in free agency who could actually fill it. If Caden McDonald can give us a passable run defense, I don't care whether he gives us a passable pass defense or not.
Yeah, Caden McDonald. And I have my concerns with any of these guys, because it seems like with the defensive tackles in this class, taking one of them at 18 is a little bit of a reach, but it's been such a big need for us, and we could go a variety of directions. Yeah. We could go cornerback as well. But we've been so bad at drafting cornerbacks, and I'm done with it. Let's get that big dude, and let's make this defensive line scary.
Yeah, there's no one else in this draft I like at that position.
All right.
Before we get these next level picks, I do want to hit the 2 super chats you've had come in.
Please.
This one's from Too Evil to Hope. Vikings should trade JJ McCarthy to the Lynx. All right.
The JJ McCarthy jokes will just never end, will they? Those I had it on ourselves. I had one of our buddies, or one of my buddies, Daniel, who produces Nick Wright's show with me, sends me some messages today, and it was just Justin Jefferson's interviews, his press conferences. And he's like, oof, doesn't look good for 9. I'm like, gosh, this is just like, you know how many 9 memes I have coming in from people almost daily? Like, I'm rooting for JJ to turn around. I don't know if I'll have the chance. What's the other one?
This is from L Win 23 times. Traded for first overall pick in a dynasty league. Rookie draft. Do you think there's any team Jeremiah Love goes to where I'd be better off picking Mendoza?
No.
I assume this is in a super flex league. Otherwise, it's not even a question. But yeah, I'm taking Jeremiah Love 100% of the time.
Yeah, Jeremiah Love. If you had the first overall pick in a rookie draft this year, you're very lucky. Jeremiah Love's going to be amazing. And it's also, I mean, it's a good draft, even, right, with Tyson, with Lemon, with Tate, Mendoza there too. I mean, it's it's a solid rookie class as far as weapons go.
Also, if you need a quarterback and Jeremiah Love actually goes to the Cardinals in particular, I'd talk to number 2 and see what you can get out of him, because I do think Arizona would be a very bad landing spot.
That takes us to 19, Ziggy, the Carolina Panthers.
The Carolina Panthers. You'll see a lot of defensive positions, right? People say they need a cornerback, they need a linebacker, they need edge, and that's all true. But the Carolina Panthers really only have one goal that's this season, and that is to figure out what is going on with Bryce Young. They have to know, right? He's up for an extension at the end of this year. They have to know whether or not he's going to be the guy. And the only way to do that is by putting the best things they can around him. They need a guard. They could also use a tackle. I think Caden Proctor is a good pick for the Panthers here. He can play inside immediately. He has a chance to move outside with the athleticism. He just gives them some beefiness on the offensive line. And anything they can do to make that Bryce Young decision easier is something they have to do. He was great at Alabama. He's a huge guy. He moves a lot better than you'd expect for someone who's 6'7", 370. I think it's a good pick for the Panthers here at 19 to take Caden Proctor.
Yeah, I see that. I'd probably lean. My guess is if Sadiq is here, that's where Sadiq goes, and that's where a lot of mock drafts have placed him, just because the weapons in Carolina, they're not. They're leaving some room for things to be desired. You could say with the Panthers receiving room. I know that they have Tate McMillan, who had a great year, but you'd like to get some more.
You don't like their Notre Dame tight end room of Tommy Tremble and Mitchell Evans?
As far as being weapons on the outside, not so much. I love Tommy Tremble. Don't get me wrong.
He's an incredible player, but he's an incredible blocker.
Oh, Tommy Tremble is a dog. I mean, that guy, physical, he's someone you want on your team. But if you have
he's
third
not
and
somebody
15,
you want as an outside red zone target.
Yeah, if you have a 3rd and 12 and you need to pick up the first down, you don't really want Tommy Tremble as the guy. That'll take it over to me. Again, with the Dallas Cowboys, who already have Ruben Bain, to the excitement of Cowboys Nation. And I think they're excited once again. This is a guy that I've seen some people say there's some smoke on Dallas possibly making a move for him at 12, which would be a reach. It would absolutely be a reach. But there's some smoke. The other Tennessee cornerback, Colton Hood. And I think that if you walk away with Colton Hood and Ruben Bain, another NFC East team with 2 picks that you're going, all right, really, really solid draft here. They do need a lot of help on the back end. They were 31st in EPA per play against them last year, 32nd in passing yards per game, last in the league last season. The Cowboys defense is the entire philosophy of this draft. Go get Colin Hood, go get Ruben Bain, and go win the NFC East next year. That brings us to the Steelers, which would have been Jack's pick here. And he'll be excited for this one. We talked earlier after Zach.
He'll be excited for this one like he didn't make the pick.
Oh, he will be. Yeah, that's true. We talked about Zach taking Spencer Fano out of Utah with the 11th pick for Miami.
Can add some flair to it. Fanu.
Yeah, Fanu. I'm not doing that. But Jack said those big guys out in Utah. Well, he's going with the other big guy out there, Caleb Lomu. A Steelers team that you're anticipating Aaron Rodgers being back if Jack's source is correct. And Aaron Rodgers returns to Pittsburgh, you got to protect him. He's 42 years old next season. Have to keep him upright. You feel good with, I think, with Metcalf and Pittman. You bring in Rico Dowdle. You have some weapons there, but you have to keep Aaron Rodgers on his feet. We know the Steelers' defense will always be at least serviceable. So let's go out here and get, not Spencer Fano, Caleb Lomu out of Utah to protect our ancient quarterback.
Whether or not you have an ancient cornerback, the Steelers' offensive line is just not good enough. Realistically,
no, they need tons of line.
They could replace every single player on this offensive line if they get an opportunity. So yeah, they need guys up front, whether it's for him, whether it's for someone they want to play this year, like Will Howell, whether it's for like a guy in the future. They need offensive line.
That brings us over to 22, Ziggy, the Chargers.
The Chargers are an interesting team because there's a lot of different things they could go. But I think as much as they've been able to get production out of their edges leading up to this, does anybody really think that Khalil Mack is going to continue to have it in him indefinitely? And Khalil Mack is the guy who's been producing on this defensive line. They need edge help badly, I think more badly than a lot of people are saying. Kendrick Falk out of Auburn is a great pick here, I think. He's an exciting player. He's a prospect a lot of people like. He's got a lot of athleticism. He's got a lot of size. And because Khalil Mack is there, there's not as much pressure for him to produce immediately out the gate. He can get a little bit of time to develop. And then next year, really step forward and take over on that Chargers defensive line. You hope to get something out of him now, but it doesn't have to be like Shamar Stewart. I think it's a good pick for the Chargers here, and Philly's going to be upset they couldn't get him because this is the exact sort of guy they like to take.
You know, Kendrick Falk is someone, and there's a lot of players, I feel like, in this draft that you can see them. I mean, Kendrick Falk especially, I've seen him going top 12 in some people's mocks, and then some guys have him out of the first round. And that's the case for a lot of people, really, after you hit like, 12 or 13, maybe. The names are everyone has different opinions on this. So I think right there, solid pick. If I'm a Chargers fan though, I'm just getting so tired of the receiving room really feeling bare. And I know they had Keenan Allen come back last year and that helped dispel things for a little bit. But with Ladd McConkey, Trey Harris, and Quentin Johnston right now, like, it still feels like there needs to be more. But yeah,
I think they will take a wide receiver later. But if you're comparing the wide receiver prospects available, like Denzel Boston, Casey Concepcion, I think you're much happier to take Falk here and
Ziggy,
then take one of those receivers. In
we have some comments that just say, "Can we make fun of Ziggy?" ... How do you respond?
Make fun of Ziggy? Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm the easiest person to make fun of on the show.
I don't know. This is a pretty easy cast to make fun of here. But yeah, look, if...
Go for it, K-Rob.
Maybe. Where's your cousin when we need him, the Chargers fan? Get the... What was Magikarp? Magikarp's opinion on this one? Okay, so Jack had the Eagles at 23, and that's going to be Akeem Mesidor, the other edge, right, from out of Miami, who is opposite of Ruben Bain. Eagles, as you said, are a little upset here, maybe seeing Kendrick Falk go off the board. They lose Jalen Phillips. You're trying to replace his production that he gave you, that spark toward the end of the season. The Eagles are, knowing the Eagles, Mesidor will turn into an all-pro within the next 3 or 4 years. This is where they really specialize is, actually, what will probably happen is Ruben Bain, the other Miami guy, will fall down the board for one reason or another. And short arms, the off-the-field issues, whatever it'll be. And Howie Roseman will do what Howie Roseman always does, which is, oh, wow, the top 10 talent is sitting here at 24 or 23. Okay, I'll take them. And we're all going to sit back and be like, you know what? Genius, Howie. Genius. It happens every single draft. That's my prediction. Jack has Akeem Mesidor going here. 24 is the Browns. And this is a tough name to pronounce, guys. This is a very tough name to pronounce.
It's really not.
I think it is. It is. We have them earlier on going Carnell, Tate. We know they need offensive line help. Max, the Arizona State lineman, Ihonachor. Max Ihonachor. A lot of raw potential here with this guy. Didn't start playing football till later in his life. He opened up playing at East Los Angeles College for 2 years. He was a tight end, converted to offensive tackle. And last year, this is how you get drafted to the NFL, guys. 0 sacks allowed in 484 passing snaps, 11 QB hurries, only 3 QB hits. So he did a great job at Arizona State. Protect Shador, Dylan Gabriel, Deshaun Watson, whoever it is, help them stay up. Cleveland gets the job done there. A reminder, again, for everybody, Thursday night, 3.5-hour live stream on Twitch, exclusive on Twitch, hoping to be on the Twitch homepage would be cool, fingers crossed. And make sure to check that out. We're going to have a lot of fun. We'll have a little more casual setup. We can't sit behind this bar for 3.5 hours, so we'll be on the couch. Maybe we'll pop a couple beers. Just the boys being the boys. Come hang out with us on Thursday night for the entire first round.
Something crazy on the first night of the draft. There always is.
We have 8 picks left. 8 picks left here, Ziggy. We're going to go through all of them. No more breaks. 25, the Chicago Bears, the defending NFC North champion Chicago Bears. Where do they go?
This board has fallen great for the Chicago Bears because, like all the other NFC North teams, they're looking to get bigger up front. I don't think their tackle situation is super dire, and Peter Woods is right here for them to select. He can play inside, he can play outside, he can play all over. He's just a great defensive line player for the Bears. He's great at setting the edge. He's been very good at tackling running backs, which is important in the NFC North. He has a lot of pass rush moves that can develop a little bit. He reminds me, actually, the player I think he's most like is Devontae Wyatt. Among the players who are in this draft, that would be my comp for him. And Chicago would be thrilled to get a guy like that to help them up front, to help their pass rushing in a run defense situation, and solidify a defense that got a little bit lucky last year.
Yeah, you know, a lot of Bears fans will probably wonder why this isn't an edge rusher here. But Peter Woods, he was someone that prior to this season was projected to potentially be a top 10 pick, right? I mean, he had very high expectations, didn't quite live up to them. He actually put on weight coming into this season and wound up, playing a little worse. I believe that weight has now come off. We'll see if he's a little bit lighter, how that impacts him at the next level. But that, I don't hate that pick at all. I think that Bears fans, go ahead.
I don't think Bears fans will be surprised that Nedge wasn't taken here. Dayo Odeyingbo should be back from injury. Grady Jarrett was truly a horror last year. They really need interior help a lot more than on the edge. Even like Austin Booker was a productive player for them last year.
So that brings us over now with and the Bears defense. They can be anything like what they were last year with the turnovers. I mean, that's going to be hard to see. Oh, look, Weston Dell here. Bear down, Weston. There you go. If they're anything like what they were last season, and you get the jump from Caleb Williams, it's really scary times in the NFC North with the Lions schedule, the Packers getting healthy again. Like it's not good. That brings us to the Bills at 26. All right. I would go probably defense here, but we're sticking true to what Jack predicted. Jack has them taking Denzel Boston, the wide receiver out of Washington, 6'4", big body receiver. He's been flying up draft boards. Give Josh Allen another weapon. They go get DJ Moore. All of a sudden now, you good? You good, Zach? Producer Zach? Is he even on the board?
No. I can't scroll.
Oh, you can't.
I can't scroll.
You've lost the ability to scroll.
Are you sure the control button's not held down or something?
It might be. There it is.
There it is. Look at Ziggy. Even out up in Boston, hundreds of miles away, doing a great job producing the show.
Who did Jack pick?
Denzel Boston.
Denzel
Boston, the Washington wide receiver.
Jack loves his wide receivers.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Denzel Boston is big. He complements DJ Moore really well. He fits into this offense, even though doesn't have that top end speed. They don't need it. And please,
let's see. This is what Jack said. You want me to give you this? Is exactly Jack's analysis. Buffalo adds size and playmaking ability to give their offense another dangerous target. Boston can win downfield and in the red zone, which should help immediately. This gives Buffalo another weapon defenses have to respect. All right. I could see that being in a magazine. Nice job, Jack. 49ers. I've gone back and forth on this one a lot, Ziggy. And for the sake of, not throwing anything off here, I'll stick with in our pre-production, what I was leaning. KC Concepcion.
If you want.
KC Concepcion is someone that if he falls here.
What a name.
Yeah. And look at the pronunciation on it too. I mean, that is top tier pronunciation. That's why I'm in the seat right here. The ability to pronunciate.
Don't shoot your horn too much.
Yeah, I know. Right after the Max, I don't even want to give it another shot. I want to tell you guys, what was Texas A&M Notre Dame this year? KC Concepcion had 7. Oh, wait, that was Mario Craver. Mario Craver had 7 receptions for 207 yards and a touchdown. KC Concepcion had 4 receptions for 82 yards. So I might be taking everything back here. But KC Concepcion had an awesome year with the Aggies, who were a playoff team, right? And in San Francisco, your initial thought might be, wait, didn't they just get Mike Evans, right? And don't they have Ricky Pearsall already and Christian Kirk? When you're in the Christian Kirk, the Mike Evans business, I mean, you are dealing with guys, especially Mike Evans, who has missed a lot of time. And if Mike Evans goes down, how comfortable are you with George Kittle with the Achilles injury? And then your weapons are Pearsall and Christian Kirk. I mean, that, you don't want to project injuries, but that's a very uncomfortable situation for a 49ers team that has Super Bowl goals. And you don't know how long that window is going to be open with an aging team. Defense should be back and a lot healthier. You should see a huge jump from the Niners defense with Warner and Bosa back, and a bunch of other guys. So adding a receiver here, someone that, a lot of Niners fans would be pumped up to get. Really I would say there's a gap after Concepcion as far as the receivers go. I like that pick for San Fran.
I thought the 49ers might go tackle here, but seeing that Trent Williams just signed a nice contract extension, I think wide receiver is going to be where
the Trent Williams contract takes me off of the lineman. All right, Texans, 28, Ziggy.
The Texans need to get bigger on defense. They need to get bigger on offense. That's just what it is for them. If there were a great guard prospect here, I would have them taking that. If there were a great tackle prospect left after what we've done in the first round, I'd have them taking that. But with the best guard off the board and 6 tackles rated, I think the best player for them to take here is going to be a defensive tackle. I think Caleb Banks is a player who can fit in really well into what Houston is up to. Yes, he needs to develop some moves, but he showed in college that he can handle double teams. He's great at slipping through offensive guards. He's good at getting to the quarterback. Just in general, this is one of those defensive tackles who I think could be very versatile for Houston. And for a team that needs some kind of production, Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter are amazing, but that interior killed them last year because teams knew they could just send whoever they wanted up there. I think this is going to be a good move for the Texans to take Caleb Banks and solidify that interior defensive line.
So building up this Texans defense, which is already, we saw with Seattle, right? You have a stout defense, you can win the Super Bowl with that. Sam Darnold did enough to get them over the hump. Unbelievable NFC Championship game.
Oh, you're
but
really putting him down because he wasn't on your team, huh?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing right now. But the defense was the star of that Seahawks team. And if there's a defense that could go toe-to-toe with them in the league, you would pick the Texans. So I have no problem building there. I actually think, Ziggy, I would go in a different direction here, if you don't mind. If you don't mind me throwing out another name. Any consideration for Blake Miller, the Clemson tackle?
There's some consideration. The issue that I have with Blake Miller is just he has not looked like the Texans need production on the offensive line immediately if they're going to take a guy, and he has the size, but he doesn't have great consistency. His footwork is problematic. Guys have a very easy job getting around him. Like, he has the physical traits, but I don't like how he played at Clemson, especially when he set the career snaps record there. He should be more refined as a player.
Oh, I did not realize. I did not realize you hated Blake Miller. I'm sorry.
Blake Miller, I think, is a bottom of the second, early third round guy.
Wow.
I do not think he should be going anywhere near here. And I think NFL teams are going to see exactly what I see. A guy with physical talent who is extremely underdeveloped for how long he played.
Jeez. Okay. All right. Tell me how you really feel. The 29th pick, Jack has the Chiefs taking, and we all have one pick left here because the Dolphins are 30. Jack has Avion Terrell. And now that we go Clemson now, I don't know if Ziggy also hates Avion Terrell. But Avion Terrell, the quarterback out of Clemson, for a Chiefs team that saw big departures in that room, mostly to the Rams, which takes us to 30. Producer Zach, back on the clock the Spencer Fano pick.
Here we go, boys.
This is what it's all about right here. Again, the producer involved a little bit. This is the selection that they traded Jalen Waddle for.
Well, obviously, if you trade Jalen Waddle, you're gonna have to, well, we'll just say our receiver room looks awful. So we're going to go with a guy who can run block, but we need somebody who can catch the ball too. So this guy's dropped.
Time.
It's time. He's dropped all the way Some say he might be the Gronk of the draft. Maybe the Kittle of the draft. We're going to go with Kenyon Sadiq.
There you go. Well, he had to go at some point, I figured, in the first round. Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end out of Oregon, dominated the combine. What was he? What was his official speed? Was it 4.38, 4.37? Which is just, I mean, he set the record. 4.39 set the record for a tight end. While the production was down on game day, which is always something that's funny to me. Like, we talk about all these guys and how they perform at the combine and how they tested their pro day. To me, it's so often like, what are you doing on the field? Like, can I see that you're a good player? Like, Tyrann Mathieu to me was a great recent example of this guy dominated. He's up for the Heisman and, plummeting down the draft boards. I can't remember if he had personal things. I think he might have.
He did.
He might, yeah. But still, with Kenyon Sadiq, you didn't see the production on the field. This is a real potential pick. And hey, the Dolphins are in the business of maybe you should. You're not drafting to win right now. So if you value him, and it seems like this would be considered a steal in a lot of people's eyes. Maybe not in ours, but I don't hate that pick at 30.
I'll give you my comp for Kenyon Sadiq. Worst Jelani Woods.
Okay.
No, look, we're talking about players who have all the athletic stuff. I guess unlike Jelani Woods, he was in an offense that has shown that they can support tight ends. And Oregon didn't want to give the ball to him. Right? Like, you don't have to watch a draft day to realize that if a player has all the physical attributes, but their team doesn't want to give them opportunities to produce, the Oregon coaching staff knows more about Kenyon Sadiq than anyone else in the whole world with respect to him as a football player. They didn't want to give him the opportunity to produce over the course of his career. Why is it going to be different in the NFL?
Well, how many teammates showed up to his birthday party?
That's what I want to know.
What do you call it? Ziggy. Please remind me, who was the best receiver in Green Bay last year?
Romeo Doubs?
No, before he got hurt. Come on, we all know it. Who was it?
Oh, you mean the most athletic guy, Tucker Kraft?
Oh, here we go. And you know who just came over to the Dolphins? A lot of Green Bay.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're looking to get the tight end room going there. They got to get some room going in Miami. So
we got the running back room.
So you got Spencer Fano and Kenyon Sadiq. That's a solid day at the office for the Dolphins there. We got 2 picks left here. I saw Merle ask before, would the Vikings trade up for Jeremiah Love? Look, there's no one who would be happier if the Vikings... Like, I'm at the point, guys, as a Viking fan, where expectations are out the window. Like, I know there are Vikings fans who... I'll pump myself up for Kyler, and I'll hope that we can make a run for the playoffs. I'll convince myself we can win the division. I already have. But at this point, if they just made some ridiculous trade to go get Jeremiah Love, I'd be like, awesome. I love watching this guy. I don't care. So I'd be pumped up, but it won't happen. At this point, he's moved too high up the board. When he was there at 10 or 11, 12, there was a chance if they wanted to go after him, but it's just not. Now it's really not feasible. And I see here we have Isaiah Hopkins says, I've been live streaming every weekday, trying to get to 1,000 subs by the end of the year. Curious how many subs will it take to do a live stream with you guys? 100,000 subs. No. Well, we can offline about that, Isaiah, but that's pretty cool that you've been doing it every day. That's awesome. At 7:03 right now. 31, the New England Patriots. Could go offensive line. Morgan Moses will not be around forever, and you want to keep Drake May upright. But I think New England's going to go on the defensive side of the ball here. I'm going to go with Cassius Howell, the Texas A&M edge rusher. Great speed, great athlete. New England was 26th in sacks last year, 24th in pressure percentage. You're chasing Josh Allen in that division, and then you could just boost those numbers against Miami and the Jets if you can. I'd go get Cassius Howell, and he's got short arms, and maybe that scares Patriots fans because of last year's pick in the first round. Who was it? I can't remember his name. Will was the offensive tackle. Campbell. But I'm going to go Cassius Howell, which brings us to the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks, Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks. Ziggy, where are they going? Maybe Jadarian Price?
No.
Ah.
Look, it's the Seahawks are very happy with this because they have a need at safety. Kobe Bryant just went to go to the Chicago Bears. And Dylan Thieneman, a guy that a lot of people think could go to the Minnesota Vikings at 17 or 18, falls to them here at 32. I think he's the best player out of Oregon in this draft. I think that he can be a very productive player for the Seahawks. I love Julian Love, but he's to me is much more of a backup, a guy you can bring in some situations than a guy you really want taking all the snaps for you. Seattle's way to success is let Sam Darnold be efficient and let the defense dominate. Putting Dylan Thieneman in here for the defense just keeps the ball moving in Seattle.
Yeah, and he's someone that will probably go a lot higher than where we have him, based on what we're hearing.
Well, but this is the thing: is there's always 25 players expected to go in the first 16 picks.
Yeah, and there's only
Guys
room.
Always fall.
So we got the Oregon safety, Dylan Thieneman there. We did have, surprisingly, I guess we had Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, the Toledo safety, fall out of the first round. He was teammates. Man, that secondary in Toledo with Quinion Mitchell and McNeil-Warren. Damn,
like they just can't happen anymore.
Yeah, kind of nuts. So there you have it. The full first round mock draft. We'll see. We'll check it out on Thursday night. Again, we'll be live on Twitch for the entire first round. We'll see how that goes. That's a long time to be live, but we're gonna do it.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen, and we'd love for you guys to tune in with us. We'll track our picks here. I see. We had over 100 people listening throughout this entire thing. That's awesome. Again, with the Twitch stuff, guys, just to kind of remind everybody, if you're a YouTube subscriber, if you're a YouTube member, right, you're not losing any benefits. Don't worry. Well, we're just going to be live on Twitch as well as YouTube more often than not. And for some special events, we might do some Twitch exclusives and try and build out a following.
Which will be posted to YouTube immediately.
Which will go to YouTube after. So no one's losing anything. It's just a fun opportunity for us to try to expand to another platform here. And we thank you guys for for being okay with that from everything we've seen so far. But on Thursday, if you want to watch along with us, that will only be live on Twitch, and we'd love for you to be there. We'll put the link everywhere. It shouldn't, to my knowledge, it shouldn't be difficult to do. So we're excited for that. Thanks everyone for tuning into this one. Ziggy, great job.